Yo, what is going on today, guys? Back here for the tradition on the channel, best and worst for each type from the current set, as we have 1 week left of the set before the new set is supposed to come out. I just wanted to finally do this video. So yeah, how this video works, if you are new to the series, we take the best and the worst for each of the types. For example, grass types. If the best Pokemon is an EX, just for example, let's say Beedrill, I will also pick a non-EX if there is a good option. But if the best Pokemon is just a non-EX, we only get one best, and that's just how it works. Anyways, let's get straight into it. So for the grass types, the best grass type is the no surprise Meowscarada. 140 HP, a stage 2 Pokemon. We have the good thing about Spigorito, be able to search actually the evolution pieces and just fellow grass cards as well. 140 damage, so something like red actually won't work on it because obviously it's a non-EX, so it's kind of like very hard for some decks to actually knock out the Meowscarada, especially if you put a giant cape on it. 2 energy, 60 damage, this additional 70, so it does 130 damage if you do attack it to an EX Pokemon. Yeah, it's just a very meta relevant card. I mean, it's literally probably like the third best deck, which is Meowzone, which is just Meowscarada and Magnezone. And yeah, it's just a very solid card. I mean, with the addition of red, you could do 150 one-shotting something like Giratina or Darkrai. Obviously, you know, Giratina can put the giant cape on, but if it attacks before you attack with Meowscarada, red knocks it out guaranteed. Darkrai, because they have the weakness to grass, red guarantees knocks them out. Even if they don't have a giant cape, Meowscarada just one-shots Darkrai. And because you are playing this with like Magnezone, Meowscarada just has a very good time against all these EX decks. Like even like against Gyarados, if you have a Meowscarada and a Magnezone in the back, the Gyarados really can never go in because you attack with like the Meowscarada or the Magnezone, and then the other one will follow and knock out the Gyarados in 2 hits. So overall, just a really solid addition, and actually possibly could like be one of the best stage 2s just ever in the game. And next up for the worst grass type, it is very obvious. I mean, we really don't have much to choose from because Beedrill is also very good. Obviously, Meowscarada is just better than Beedrill, which is why Beedrill didn't make the cut for the best. But we have this Pinsir, so 90 HP, basic. Honestly, 90 HP for a basic that's the non-EX, pretty solid. But then you look at the energy requirements, it's 3 energy for 50 damage, and you flip a coin until you get tails. This attack does 40 more damage. So it's essentially like a licky, or technically like an Eevee, but this one has guaranteed damage, but you do need 3 energy. So like you would have to play this with like something like a Leafeon to ramp it up, because that's like really the only option. You could technically use Lilligant, but like no one really uses that card anymore, so it's like it just takes too much energy requirement, where like instead of playing this Pinsir, you could just play something like Celebi EX just to do more damage, more HP, and with less retreat cost. Also, like a 2 retreat cost is like extremely bad. It's just like the final straw to make this card like truly the worst in the set, or obviously worst grass type in the set. So next on, moving on to the fire types, it might be a hot take, bro, but I think the best fire type is actually this Magmortar. And the reason I'm picking this over Stoke Charizard is, one, we already have the old Charizard EX from Genetic Apex that does 200 damage, and for 99.99% of the time I play against Charizard, I've only ever seen the Genetic Apex one. Not only this, but Magmortar actually had a little bit of meta relevancy like the first week and a half of rank coming out, where people were playing this Magmortar Magnezone deck because of this one Magmar that actually ramps up energy. Yeah, so people were using this Magmar to basically be able to gain an additional energy, so you could attack with Magmortar on the following turn. And like it was nothing crazy, and it definitely didn't stick in the meta. It just was actually there in the first week and a half compared to Charizard, the Stoke Charizard, which really didn't have any meta relevancy at all. I think I personally played against it like maybe twice in my whole existence of playing ranked for the month. And then moving on to the worst fire type, we just have the Paldean Tauros. So basic with 110 HP, like technically it could be like a good wall, but then like you're never really gonna attack with this thing because it's 3 energy for 80 damage, which is like 3 energy for 80, not really that good to be honest. Like, and then you also do 10 damage to yourself, just like the straw. Like it's already a basic. And I mean, you could like technically, I guess, like use Moltres, like build it up in the back, but like at this point, like I would personally rather just use like almost like any other fire type ramping it up if you are going to play Moltres. And if you're not playing Moltres, like I just don't see you ever really ramping this thing up by itself, putting the energy each turn, because you obviously can't do it in the active spot because it'll probably just get knocked out by then. And if you do it in the bench, like I don't like, and you're spending 3 turns to set this thing up, I really just don't know how you're going to win the game because it's only doing 80 damage. You're obviously putting the energy on this, or you're not putting it on something else. So you would have to play this for like a ramp up card. Like I guess you could like technically do like Tauros Giratina at that point, but like that's just like probably one of the worst decks I've just ever thought of. So just overall, maybe if it was like 2 energy and maybe like 60 damage, could be a little bit viable, but 3 energy is just really too much. Not only that, a 2 retreat cost, bro, you just really never want to see that in like cards that already have like a high energy advantage. So overall, just a lot of things just very poorly designed with this card, and I don't think I've ever actually seen it be used. So now for the water types, it should be very obvious, but the best water type is just Wugtrio EX. So Wugtrio EX is an EX Pokemon, a stage 1, 3 energy for pop out throughout. Essentially, it's the same thing as Dragonite. You target 3 enemies instead of 4 though with Wugtrio, and then you just do 50 damage for each enemy it targets. So you could possibly do 150 damage on one Pokemon that is in the bench. So the downsides of Wugtrio is the 140 HP with the addition of red can easily get one shot a lot by the things in the meta. The good things though, water type has access to Misty, has access to Irida, has access to Manaphy, so you could do like Manaphy XP Dawn decks, which is very good to get Wugtrio set up, because if you think about the meta, dude, a lot of things set up on the bench: Gyarados, Darkrai, Giratina, Meowzone most likely, because they're, you know, ramping up the Magna zones in the back. If you can get like going second Manaphy, X-Speed, Wugtrio, Dawn, or obviously you don't need the X-Speed if you already have like 2 Pokemon with the Dawn, but if you can actually, or like, you know, even like a Misty Flip, if you can get Wugtrio set up very fast, bro, Wugtrio actually can sweep. And this is one of the Pokemon I played a lot of like the first week and a half, and I won that small invitational. If you get, like I said, if you get set up very fast, extremely strong. Sometimes if you maybe like don't get the Wugtrio EX, you're probably losing because you're not doing really any damage with the Manaphies or the Wigglets. So it's kind of like a hyper offensive deck. Like, you get it fast, bro, you're probably winning. If not, just kind of like GG's, gotta pack it up. And we don't have another good water option, so Wugtrio EX obviously is an EX Pokemon, but we really have no other better option, so this is the only good water type from this new set. Next up for the worst, we have this Floatzel. So it's a stage 1, and it's 1 energy, and it does 30 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon, so it is a bench sniper. Also, it honestly could have been Tentacruel, because they're both pretty bad. The reason I'm just picking Floatzel is because like Hitmonchan, or Hitmonlee I mean, is already seeing less play with the introduction of Nurse Joy, and this is just a stage 1 to do what Hitmonlee does. And not only that, Floatzel, cool, like a little bench sniper, bro, or like also can attack the active spot, but like it also got power crap by a promo version. So same thing, Floatzel, but this one does 70 damage for 1 energy as long as the Pokemon has previous damage on it. So I just feel like this Floatzel is already better. And I just feel like there's no real reason to run this one over the new one that does 70 damage for 1, where this one only does 30 damage for 1, which is just very not good at this point, like in this meta. Like, yes, you could like set up a Magikarp, but there's already so many more things to do that are just better. That like if you really wanted to just play this card to snipe specifically Magikarp, which is like really the only thing it could be used for, there are many other better options. So for the best electric type, might be a hot take, dude, but in my personal opinion, I think Pachirisu is actually the best electric type out of the set. And the reason for this is because I'm not really thinking of now. Like, Pachirisu only gets played with Pikachu EX. The reason I'm thinking about Pachi, any electric type that needs ramp up that may have a lot of energy then might be really good, Pachirisu could instantly become a staple because it is a ramp up card. We've seen how strong ramp up cards are, like Manaphy. And I'm just waiting for an electric type that's be broken that's actually good, because Pikachu EX, let's just be honest, bro, is a fun card, definitely not anything close to actually extremely good. So I think Pachirisu has the potential to be super good. We just need that electric type to come out. So 70 HP. 70 HP is actually very nice. It's like way better than 60 because you can like unlike Manaphy, Pachirisu actually does damage. So if you do attack and they have a Rocky Helmet in the active spot, you do take the chip damage. So at least you have 70, so you can attack 3 times before dying. But yeah, 10 damage, which is kind of nice. A lot of people play potions now, so like it doesn't really matter. But it can open the Cyrus if they don't have that potion, if they swap out of that thing. But yeah, you attack for 10 damage, you take an electric energy, and then you just put 1 on the bench Pokemon. So it's just a ramp up card, and like I said, I can see it being way better in the future. Next up for the worst, I actually chose this Electrode. So it's 2 energy for 50 damage, and you toss a coin, and you do 30 damage if you land head. So you could do up to 80 damage, 90 HP, but a 1 retreat cost. And the reason I chose this Electrode as the worst from the set, because you could like low-key choose Palmont because Palmont's pretty bad. The only reason I chose this Electrode specifically is, let me just switch to the deck builder. So the reason I chose Electrode is we literally already have this card. We have the one from Genetic Apex that is 80 HP, yes, 10 less HP, doesn't really matter, but this one has a no retreat cost. and it does 70 damage. So it's guaranteed 70 with no retreat cost, but 10 less HP. I just feel like there's no reason to play this new one when you can just play the old one from Genetic Apex. So next up for psychic types, let's just get it out of the way. We already know Giratina EX is literally one of the most broken cards, if not the best EX card ever printed in this game, because it literally ramps up itself. Giratina Darkrai, if you know anything about the game, Giratina Darkrai is literally the best deck in the game. Giratina Mewtwo. Giratina literally even made Dragonite meta viable for a little bit before everyone just kind of like stopped playing the game because it can be a little bit inconsistent and bricky. But I think it's enough said that how strong a card is when it is taking Dragonite, one of the decks that have never really been meta relevant since the existence of the game, and actually made it have its like little place in the meta. So I think just in that factor alone, Giratina the best psychic. Obviously we already know that. And looking at the list, there's literally no other psychic that is good. So Giratina, it is an EX, like I said. If there is no best, bro, I'm not going to pick another card. And there just simply isn't. And then the worst one is going to be this Mr. Mime. So 90 HP on a basic, like I said, that's actually pretty decent, but 2 energy. And you flip 4 coins and does 20 for each. So you could do up to 80 damage for 2. There's just a lot of things that could just do that damage without needing the coin flips. Not only that, but like you're playing psychic types, and I don't really think you want to slot in this Mr. Mime because there's just so many psychics you can't play, like Giratina, Mew EX, Mewtwo EX, even something like Miss Mag EX. Like there's just so many better psychic types that you could play instead of this Mr. Mime. And not only, it's just one of those filler pack cards. I could have chose the Alakazam also, but like at least the Alakazam does damage and could potentially be useful. And then Drifblim, obviously, it's just one of those basic cards that they print every set that does like 40 damage for 1 energy. That's a stage 1. But the benefit of Drifblim, at least it has no retreat cost, so that's like something going for it. And then like obviously Gimmighoul, I can't pick Gimmighoul because it's just like a stage 1. And obviously Goldango is like the real card that I should be judging. So I just think Mr. Mime is pretty useless. So next up for the fighting types, really not a lot to work from. If I had to pick the best one, I probably still would pick Lucario EX, 150 damage. It's a stage 1. The only real downside of Lucario EX that it is 3 energy to attack, but it does 100 damage to the bench and then 30 damage, or it does 100 damage to the active and then 30 damage to the bench in 1 attack. So that's like pretty good, especially if you can combine it with like some previous damage. Maybe do some damage, Sabrina something in, or Cyrus even, and then get like 2 KOs at the same time. Really good. But the problem with Lucario is there's no real fighting ramp up, so you're gonna have to commit to putting 3 energy on this thing manually, because obviously, like I said, there's no ramp up card, so you can't really play anything like Marshadow, because like you gotta be putting the energy on Lucario. You're not really gonna be wanting to spare the energy on Marshadow, I guess. Like I guess you theoretically could, but I just feel like in my mind like it's a little bit too much energy hog. So you want to probably be playing like those like 1 energy fighting types. But yeah, definitely not like anything meta relevant, but it's like definitely decent if you can get it set up. It's just like the problem is setting it up. I think maybe if there's like a fighting ramp up card in the future, I can see Lucario coming into the meta, because it is 150 HP, which is actually pretty nice. Obviously the downside is weak to sidekick, so Giratina does one-shot us still, but it's like any other guard, like it can possibly live a hit or 2. So yeah, I think we just need that fighting ramp up card, and then Lucario EX will actually be good. But I also think there's actually another best option for the fighting type, which is actually going to be this Hitmonlee. And this Hitmonlee 80 HP, 30 damage. It is literally the same thing as Hitmonchan for 30 damage. It is literally just the same copy, and this card has always seen play here and there, so I just chose to provide it because it's like if you literally wanted to. And what I was doing in the solo event for the Palmont card, like when you had to play against it, I just literally played 2 Hitmonchans and then 2 of the Hitmonlees and just put it on auto. And I mean, I'm doing 30 damage and they have the weakness to fighting, so it's like just like a literally you can just play 4 copies of this card now. So that's why I chose to talk about it in the video. Speaking of Hitmonchan though, the worst fighting type is literally the new Hitmonchan. So 90 HP, 3 energy for 90. So if we're already talking about 3 energy in a fighting deck being super hard and is a commitment, and Lucario EX is actually pretty decent once you do get the 3 energy, we have the Hitmonchan, which is a basic 90 HP. So it's getting one shot. Let's just be real, it's gonna get one shot once it goes in and attacks, but 3 energy for 90 damage only. You're gonna get 1 attack off. You're gonna spend the whole game setting it up. Your opponent's probably gonna get 2 knockouts because all the fighting cards are squishy. Then you finally put Hitmonchan in, you attack, you don't even knock anything out because it's 90 HP and then, or 90 damage only, and then you just get knocked out, you lose the game. This might genuinely be one of the worst cards ever printed, and it's just garbage. It just is simply terrible design. There's just no reason to ever play it. Like, even if we get fighting ramp up, I just don't see anyone ever using this. Possibly, but like I just don't see it. So next up for the dark types, very obvious, bro. We have Clodsire EX. That is not Clodsire, bro. We have Colossire EX, a little bit spoilers for the second best card. But Venoshock does 120 damage if the opponent is poisoned. It's also a stage 1 EX with 160 HP. We haven't seen a stage 1 EX with this much HP since Gyarados. Obviously Gyarados does have more, but Colossire 160 HP, a very tanky chocolate bar boy. 130 damage actually, because if they are poisoned, they're going to take the chip damage. Clodsire is one of those cards extremely powerful if they are poisoned and you do get it set up. The problem is actually keeping the poison on the Pokemon, because with the introduction of Nurse Joy, it is very easy to just take that poison off. Not only that, but Arceus, while it's not meta relevant, you'll still see it here and there, so that could be a problem, but traditionally not. The main annoyance, bro, is Nurse Joy, and there's not really a good way to keep the poison. I mean, we have Grafify, which I'm going to talk about is the second best dark type because it pairs with Clodsire. So you flip a coin for its ability, and then if you land heads, the active Pokemon is poison. So it's a coin flip. The only other ways to really poison in this deck is the new Ekans, if you do play the Ekans tech from the promo pack, or if you do attack with Rupert, which does poison for 10 damage. Clodsire, bro, actually a top tier card if the Pokemon is poisoned and you do get it set up on the first 3 turns. If you just can't get that poison, dude, is definitely a very low tier card. But like I said, maybe in the future, if we get easier and better ways to poison, I think Clodsire, bro, will only rise up on the tier list, but we just have to wait till that day. And then going back to Grafify, second best dark type from the set. Like I said, it's only really there because it pairs with Clodsire. Besides that, 240 damage is nice. You're really not going to be attacking with this thing for the most part. You really just have it there for the ability to poison. Next up for the worst dark type, we just have Arbok. So the reason I chose Arbok is we already have the Arbok from Genetic Apex, so that is 2 energy and that traps the opponent in. This one's 3 energy, a little bit too much energy, bro. I think if it was 2, could actually be viable and played with Clodsire, but 3 energy poisons your opponent for 70 damage. Just simply to have an energy cost when dark types don't really have a good ramp up. I don't even think they do have a ramp up, to be honest. Unless I'm just forgetting something, but if they do, it's just not meta relevant. But yeah, basically the killer on this card is just 3 energy, and then we have the old Arbok from Genetic Apex, which is just simply better. Next up for the still types, we have obviously Bonk the Wind. We have Tinkaton EX, top tier card. If you land the heads, it is a stage 2, which is a downside 3 energy. You land tails, you're only doing 80 damage for a stage 2 for 3 energy, very bad. 170 HP is nice though, and your tree cost kind of sucks, but like it is what it is. You always can play a leaf. But basically, this thing is very reliant on landing the heads. If you don't land the heads, this card sucks. I really wanted this card to be super good. It's definitely like a low tier, mid tier card at best. Like I said, top tier though, if you landed the heads, like if you land 2 heads, you can just win a game like that once you get Tinkaton set up. Obviously, it's a stage 2, so it's already bricky. So you already have to get lucky and get the actual evolution pieces, and then you have to get lucky and actually land the heads flip. So a lot of things going on for Tinkaton. Can definitely be super strong. You just got to land those heads, and then you just got to actually get the evolution pieces, and then the deck flow is phenomenal. You land the tails, you literally want to take the card outside and just throw it away. Next up, we actually have a second best still type. Definitely more of a fun card. I mean, all the still types / metal types, bro, are definitely more fun in this set. We have Goldango, so 120 HP. It's essentially a Celebi for 3 energy. Can be paired with the Olga. You can ramp it up a lot, dude, and because it is actually a non-EX, if you do slap a giant cape on it, something like Giratina without the help of a Darkrai can't one-shot it. So that's something. Like I said, nothing crazy meta relevant. Definitely just a fun deck that you can play around in casual, and also like maybe like a low Great Ball or something. And because you are playing Olga, bro, like I said, you can ramp up a lot of energy, bro. Do like 6, 7, 8 coin flips, 1 Goldango, because the Olga is extremely tanky and does equip 2. But the worst card for the metal types, bro, is just Reverie. I mean, it's the only other option, but this thing is like a legit garbage. So it's the exact same thing as the Magmortar. We already talked about 3 energy for 70, and then it's like if you land heads after you attack, your opponent can't do anything, or like effects or damage. But at least the Magmortar had the help of Magmar charging up the energy. For Reverie doesn't have that. It just does 10 damage for 1 on the basic. So it's just simply not good. Next up, the colorless Pokemon, and I'm going to be 100% honest. None of these cards are super good. We have Sizzlar, Cyclizar, whatever you want to pronounce the name, dude. I never knew about even when I played Scarlet and Violet, but so it's basically a budget Farfetch'd because it does 20 damage, but then the next turn it does 40. Has 20 more HP, but I feel like you just want the early 40 damage from Farfetch'd. So like this thing was played a little bit at the beginning. People were hyping it up. No one plays it anymore. B-Barrel, bro, is one of the worst EXs ever printed. I'm gonna be honest, that card's not good. If I had to choose the best one, it would probably be Wigglytuff. So for 20, for the ability, you heal 20 damage. So basically, it's a Butterfree for the active Pokemon. It's a stage 1 instead of a stage 2. That's good. You can heal up, but we're in a meta where like you take so much damage, it doesn't really matter anymore because you usually just get 2-shot if you're not 1-shot anyways. And then for the worst one, bro, I'm not going to click on it, bro. B-Barrel EX. I have obviously like realistically, it would probably be like this Licky or this Raticate, but like B-Barrel, bro, it's just bad as well. Like there's just not a good colorless Pokemon. Next up for the best trainer cards though, it is very obvious. The addition of Red literally changed the game because a lot of things that didn't get a 1-shot, dude, now of Red are just not matter relevant anymore because they get 1-shot. Mainly Pokemon like 140 HP that were kind of like lowish, the mid-tier cards, like just really can't exist. We have like Glaceon, Leafeon kind of came back with these weird like Mythical Island Executor build, but like honestly, like that's already fallen off again. Just like stuff like that, bro, like Leafeon, even like stuff like Celebi, Glaceon. There's way more, I just can't think of them off the top of my head. Even something like Pachirisu kind of died last set, dude, but like it was like kind of all right. But like if they're just like, dude, like Red everything just kind of like 1-shot you now, even with a giant cape. So the addition of Red literally just changed the game, made so many Pokemon or EX Pokemon that were meta relevant just kind of like not usable anymore, or like extremely like niche. So I think this is honestly the best card from the set. And there's not a worse trainer type. Literally all of these are strong. All of these are extremely good. And there's just not a bad one. So Red is simply the best, but that doesn't mean these cards are bad. Like if I had to rank them, it'd probably be like Pokemon Grant second, Pokemon Center Lady, and then Iono, or like swap these two around. But I think these two are like kind of like tied. Maybe Iono probably is like better overall, but like all these trainer cards are just fantastic. Next up, ranking the full arts. So I think Meowscarada is honestly the best. Actually, I think Tatsuri got the best one, bro. It's just super clean. He's just chilling in the mouth, bro. I really do think it's cheating. I also like Breezel. Meowscarada's top tier. I don't really care personally for like Goldango, and I think we already know what the worst one is, bro. We already don't gotta talk about that thing right there. That's staring at my soul. 2 stars. I think Pikachu has the best one. If we're talking about Pokemon, just because I really like the color pop with the blue and the yellow. For the trainer cards, originally I really liked Iono, bro, but I think Red is just, I think the Red full art is super fantastic. Honorable mention, bro, cringe card, but Team Rocket Grunt, green hair anime woman. Literally look at my profile pic on YouTube. The best rainbow, bro, is probably like a tie between Tinkaton and Pikachu. I personally like Tinkaton. It has like this like pop. I can't think of like what it's exactly called, but it's like some type of like theme that I really just enjoy for like graphic design. Basically, it's kind of the vibes it's given. So I really like the Tinkaton one. The best shiny, bro, obviously we got to go for our boy Wiglet right here, bro. It's just a very clean looking card, man. And the best card in the set is actually this gold Pokeball, which I still don't have, man. Please. Anyways, that does it for the best and the worst of each type for Shining Reverie. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. I think this one was actually on the longer side because I feel like I explained a little bit more. Hope you guys don't mind that. I was just kind of like yapping. Anyways, thank you guys for all the love and support on the channel. As of recently, I'm planning to go super hard. I'm planning to do a lot more variety of decks in ranked mode because I'm not going to take rank like super seriously. Like that's not going to say I'm not going to try. I basically just want to like deck like theory test and like theory craft a lot of more decks in ranked because it's going to be the first week. We don't have to go all the way to Master Ball. We're going to be like Ultra Ball / low Master Ball. So I want to like use the first week and 2 to like theory craft and test a bunch of decks. That's like kind of like the plan. Anyways, peace out and have a lovely day as always.